live, and this is a kind of a crazy scenario. I I've been doing Sub2 and buying houses subject to for I guess 5 years now, and we just had a note called due. So we just had the atomic bomb dropped on one of our deals. I went to go get the mail yesterday down at the end of my driveway, and it was Monday. Oftentimes mail piles up over the weekends, and for whatever reason, a bunch of mail gets in your mailbox on a Monday. There's just a lot of more mail on a Monday than there usually is. And one of the letters I got was from the lender on a subject to deal. Typical, because we receive a lot of correspondence from our Sub2 lenders, the lenders of our Sub2 deals, things that are just advertising. They're trying to tell us we have equity. They're wanting for us to refinance. Sometimes there's an escrow analysis, and so we'll get a letter about our payment going up usually. And so I just figured that this letter was one of those. I'm probably just gonna throw it away in the recycling bin, recycling bin. But when I opened up the letter said that this loan is headed to foreclosure. And it didn't give any more information. It was sent to me, and on behalf or in care of the borrower on the loan, I opened it up, and again, I'm looking at this saying that the loan is going to foreclosure. And so I thought maybe this is a mistake. I should probably log in to the subject to loan portal and see what's going on and see if there's any other documents that they've sent us. And lo and behold, there was a due on sale letter sent approximately a month ago. And we got no email notification. I didn't get a physical letter. All I got was a document uploaded to the portal of our subject to loan, and it was a due on sale letter. So my goal this month and next month is to do more live videos, and I feel like this is going to be a good video to walk you guys through a due on sale as it's happening in real time. This is kind of the nightmare scenario of anybody who invests in subject to or does Sub2 or is following Pace Morby or part of the program with Pace. I'm not. I've been doing Sub2 longer than Pace and whatnot, but again, I'm Sub2 investor. I've bought a lot of houses Sub2. This is my first due on sale, and I just want to say, hey, Alexandro and Kimmy and WJ. What's up? I got a real Sub2 deal. I'm getting the note called due on. So this is an actual due on sale happening. So that was a letter I received yesterday. And then I called my business partner on this deal because we're 50-50 on the deal. And this was a house, by the way, which we sold on a land contract. So we sold it on a contract for deed, which means we cannot just list the house for sale to pay off the lender. We actually have to deal with the due on sale situation. Hi, Nico. How's it going, everybody? And so we first thing we did was, so here's the story. So our borrower / buyer to whom we're selling the property in a contract for deed, they were trying to refinance this house. And so they were ordering multiple payoffs. The title company was reaching out. And what's up, Hertz Gaming Bros? Banking and finance, absolutely. And so there was a lot of disruption, I suppose you could say, because our buyers were trying to refinance it and put the house into their own name. And so I got called by an appraiser wanting to appraise the house. I figured it was our buyer's lender's appraiser that they needed to get an appraisal because our buyers were refinancing. This was back in August when they were trying to refinance, and now it's October. And so it's been quiet for a few months, and this kind of came out of the blue. And I said, okay, hey, well, you're calling the wrong person because we bought this Sub2 and we sold it on a contract for deed. So here's the person you need to call. I went back and listened to the voicemail that this appraiser left me. It was not the borrower's lender, it was the lender of the Sub2 mortgage. What's up, Carson? So the lender was actually calling me to let them into the property so that the Sub2 lender would send their appraiser to the house, get the value of the house, and then call the note due. This is absolutely insane. A due on sale clause being called. We have not missed a payment on this house. It is a VA loan. We've not missed a payment on this house. We've been paying it now for over, I think, 3 years. And they're calling the note due. They're accelerating the mortgage and they're calling the note due. And I'm trying to figure out why would they do this. Like I said, we put the property into a trust. So on title, they would see the trust as the owner. And usually that shields you from a due on sale. So we did everything the right way on this deal, all the right paperwork, all the right structure. And yet we are getting the note called due. So it's absolute insanity. And 6-7, okay. Let's see here. I'm going to show you a letter that they uploaded. Okay, I'm not going to actually show it to you because it's got private information, but this is a due on sale. My goodness, let me read the due on sale here. This is our due on sale letter. We have reviewed the original deed of trust. Well, first of all, it says that the mortgage company, I'm going to keep it anonymous, as the servicer of the mortgage loan secured by the collateral property, then that's the address right there, the property, has received notice that title to the property was transferred to my name on such and such a date in this county court document number. And then they enclose a copy of the title transfer. Now, what's interesting about this is that I'll probably just do a full-on YouTube video of this. I have to. What they ended up attaching here is an affidavit that I had filed back when we got the property under contract to buy it Sub2. So this is an affidavit of an agreement to sell real estate. So this wasn't even like we didn't record any actual sale, just an agreement for sale. And that's what they're going off of as their evidence that the property has been sold without the loan being paid off. So then they go on to say that they have reviewed the original deed of trust and then the dated blah, blah, blah with blah, blah, blah borrowers on it as the borrowers, and that there are no other parties holding title at the time of origination. And then section 18 of the deed, quote, transfer of the property. Now here's the due on sale. Transfer of the property or a beneficial interest in borrower provides if all or any part of the property or any interest in the property is sold or transferred without the lender's prior written consent, the lender may require immediate payment in full of all sums secured by the security instrument. However, this option shall not be exercised by a lender if such exercise is prohibited. Okay, so they're just exercising their option. This lender is exercising their option to call the note due. And now we're in a situation, we're in a pickle. Thankfully, we're going to be able to resolve this. I'm 100% sure. But this, I'm looking at a due on sale letter right now. And I'm going to be walking you through some live streams, just some updates as we figure out what to do with this due on sale. So then after they attach a copy of the recorded affidavit of and memorandum of a purchase and sales agreement, which I recorded, which I'm never going to do again. There's no reason to ever do that again, unless it's just such an amazing Sub2 deal that I can't let it get away. But even then, man, if this is what could happen, I am pretty stinking cautious going forward about recording anything. Again, I don't know why they call this note due, actually, because we make the payments every single month. So here's what happened after this. All right, so I get this letter. I call my business partner. It's like the end of the world. Hey, your day's about to get a lot worse because we have a due on sale that we have to address. And by the way, it's my first due on sale. Over 50 Sub2s collectively with my partner, probably over 60 or 70. Because he's done more as well apart from me. So we have quite a bit of experience doing subject twos. I mean, we hold most of them. So we get to see what happens when you hold a subject to deal and make the payments, and usually nothing happens, ever. Usually nothing ever happens. You just make the darn payments. Why would they call it due? Well, what happened was we called our borrower, our contract for deed buyer, and we figured out that wasn't their appraiser who called me. It was the Sub2 lender's appraiser. And they're like, okay, so why would they be calling? Well, we called the seller on the Sub2 loan yesterday. We got a three-way call, me, my business partner, and the seller. Thankfully, we're on good terms. He was level-headed, and he was like, I did receive a call from the lender a couple weeks ago, and I told him that I didn't own that property anymore, that I had sold it to a guy named Hans, and I gave him your number. And I'm like, oh my gosh, so you told the lender that you sold the house without paying off the loan? Well, then they call me and I say the same thing. And then they have this, then they do a title search probably, and they get this affidavit. At this point, it's a preponderance of evidence that if this lender ever wanted to go sell the note to a note buyer, they probably legally couldn't. So this is my hypothesis about why the note's getting called due. They probably could not, without disclosing this, ever sell this note, because now they have this preponderance of evidence that a subject to sale has happened, that they would be hiding. And there's some legal term for that. I don't know what it is, but it'd be defrauding probably the note buyer if this mortgage company ever wanted to go sell this note, which happens all the time. Maybe they've been trying to sell the note and have gotten stymied because the legal team's like, yeah, did you notice all this crazy crap in the file about this, oh, and by the way, this was the deal. This was the deal where our mobile notary, when we closed the deal, sent all the closing paperwork to the lender, not to the title company. And that made us freak out for like a month and a half because the seller was in the middle of a loan modification, and or something like that, or they had done the loan modification already. We were just waiting for it to pop up and like show the new documents. But my point is that this is the deal, the one crazy deal already, where we had actually sent our closing statement and everything, Sub2 documents saying, yeah, we're buying it subject to. We didn't send it to the lender. The stupid mobile notary did send it to the lender. Nothing happened though for like 4 years until our buyer on the contract for deed, the land contract, started to try and refinance, title companies pulling title multiple times, all this stuff. So probably, yeah, a preponderance of evidence. They literally have our subject to document papers. They have me on a recorded line. They have the seller on a recorded line stating that the seller sold it without paying off his loan. And you have a recorded affidavit on file, county record, stating an intent of me to buy the property. Yeah, that's like, if I were the lender, I'd probably call the note due too, because At this point, it's crazy. Now, I actually wouldn't call it a no due. I would just keep accepting payments because we pay religiously on time. We do that with all of our subject twos, and I always harp on it. Unless you are prepared to make every single mortgage payment and deal with a due on sale like this, that could happen. If you're not prepared to deal with these kinds of things, then don't do subject to and just get out of creative finance space. It's not a space for you. But if you're up for the challenge, the reward is certainly worth it, if you're willing to take the risk on these subject to deals. Again, all of our other deals, subject to ones, again, over 30 that we hold, maybe closer to 40. No issues, no issues. So yeah, this is the due on sale. I'm trying to think what else has happened. So we called the seller yesterday, and he didn't freak out, and thank you. Jesus does love me, and Jesus loves you too. I appreciate it. Um, the seller did not freak out. He was willing to work with us. We suggested that we get on the phone with the lender today, which is I think my business partner is right now on the phone with him and the mortgage company right now. Thank you. My hat says Grizzly Hackle. It's from a fly fishing shop, a fly shop out in Missoula, Montana, where we did some fly fishing one time. What's up, Murdoch? Yeah, so we got a note called due on a Sub2 deal, and this is how you get into trouble as a real estate investor, is if you don't have a plan to deal with this. Thank you. Yeah, these glasses were a bold move on my behalf, but I feel like I've been able to pull them off so far. The seller agreed to get on the phone with the lender because it's a VA loan. Well, basically, this document that I'm walking you guys through, the due on sale, where the lender is calling the note due, there was a previous document, where they said, no, it's actually right here, that if we deed it back into if we cure title or whatever and put the house back into the seller's name by October 1st. So it'd have to have been by October 1st, but actually we're gonna ask for grace here. So right now, I think my partner's on the phone with the seller and the lender of the Sub2 loan, asking, hey, can we just deed this back into the seller's names and take care of this, because he can't have a foreclosure on his record. In fact, he mentioned the seller was very kind of thankful to us. He said, my credit score's never been any better. It's almost 800. And we're sitting there being like, yeah, because we make your mortgage payment every single month, as we agreed to. And so he's like, I can't have my credit destroyed. We can't have a foreclosure. So we totally understand. We're going to work with them and do everything we possibly can to prevent that from happening. Take my word. So we would never let that happen on a Sub2 deal. So especially because we have buyers in there that we have sold our interest to the property to them. So we have to definitely correct this, and we will. And interesting. So basically, we will be trying to deed this house back into the name of the sellers on the Sub2 loan. That's the plan. And as long as the lender says, yeah, that'll be fine, we'll cancel the foreclosure, we'll reinstate the loan, then that's what we're going to do. The complicating factor in this, to give more backstory on my conversation with the seller, is that he said, well, that wouldn't be a problem, Hans, but right now my wife and I are going through a divorce. She's on the loan too, unfortunately, and he said that she's trying to get half of his inheritance and stuff. So that this could be, that's where we could get stuck, is even if the lender says, yeah, as long as the deed is in Mr. Seller and Mrs. Seller's names, we'll just reinstate the loan, keep making the payments. We have to get her on board too. Now we've offered them a small financial incentive to just do the paperwork, because it's going to require a little bit of paperwork, like $1,000 a piece. And literally, we have zero equity in the deal anyway, so there's really not much there to give them, and we can't just turn around and sell the house. And even if we did, we'd be solving the issue, and we wouldn't need to get with the seller. So the ideal situation here is that we just get with the lender. The lender says, yeah, deed it back into the borrower's names. We'll cancel the foreclosure. Due on sale is fixed. I wish I was Indian. And then the wife and the husband are willing to execute a contract for deed back to us. Either we do that, or we just deed it back into a trust and kind of play a cat and mouse game. We play a cat and mouse game with the lender, essentially, and see if they call the note due again. They probably won't. So that's our strategy. I'm gonna update you with some lives about my real due on sale clause nightmare, guys. I make no money on YouTube, guys. I don't have enough followers. I have a very niche group of people that follow my content, and it's just hardly anything to make any money. Okay. So yeah, that's my due on sale. Nobody's asking any questions about real estate or the due on sale. That's fine. But I wanted to share this in real time. My attitude is generally positive about this. It's a headache, but I could see how this could ruin somebody's not just day, but really series of weeks up until it gets resolved. Because I feel super confident if we can't resolve it with the lender and the sellers, then we're just going to refinance it. I mean, our buyer borrowers on the land contract have done a ton of renovations, and I bet that appraiser, when they went through there, saw that and was like, dang, this house is actually worth quite a bit more than it was. And so there should be enough equity for us to refinance, and we would probably either try and get a quick refinance with a local lender that we see if they would be able to finance a loan before the due on sale, before the auction. It hasn't even been slated for auction yet, which is nice. But once that countdown, that ticker begins, then we're going to really be on a crunch for time. And we can always borrow private money, pay it off cash, and then do the refinance, a rate and term refinance or something like that in relatively short order. So that's the plan, and we'll see what happens next. All right, stay updated. Live due on sale situation here. See you on the next one. Thanks for tuning in. Later.